Hi, welcome to week 4. This is Roxanne, and what we're going to do today is this week is all about your last personal parallel. So you will only do 2 this semester, and it's going to be based on Traveling Through the Dark, which is a poem. And before you freak out and go, I can't stand poetry, I hate poetry. First of all, I know where you're coming from because when I had to take poetry classes in school, even in graduate school, I hated them. Because I didn't get it, I didn't understand. And then finally, one instructor actually said, Roxanne, it's not that hard. You just look at the symbols and try and figure out what's being said. And that's when I became a symbol freak. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read Traveling Through the Dark for you. It will be on the screen. It's also on page 12 in your workbook. Not your workbook, your reading and writing book. And you'll notice if you're looking at the screen right now that there's 2 versions. This is the actual version here, the poetry version. Over here, I've turned it into a short story for people who look at poem paragraphs, which are stanzas. They're called stanzas, they're poem paragraphs, and there's 5 of them here. And some people will look at this and just say, oh my gosh, I can't do it, I'm freaking out. So that's why I put it into paragraph form. So there's 2 paragraphs here. So whichever way makes you feel most comfortable so that you can understand what's going on in the poem is fine. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to read Traveling Through the Dark. And then I'm going to have another worksheet that you do not have in your book. It will be on the screen, and I will attach it within the week 4 module. And that's one of the assignments that you're actually going to have to download and print because you're going to have to fill some stuff out. But first, let's just go through Traveling Through the Dark. And let me just move my, okay, here we go. Traveling Through the Dark. Okay, so just a second, please. My mouse has a mind of its own, so I had to whip it into shape. Okay, here we go. Traveling Through the Dark. Now, the first time we read this through, I just want you to think of the literal facts. You don't have to interpret anything. What is this story about literally? Traveling through the dark, I found a deer dead at the edge of Wilson River Road. It is usually best to roll them into the canyon. That road is narrow. To swerve might make more dead. By glow of the taillight, I stumbled back of the car and stood by the heap, a doe, a recent killing. She had already stiffened, almost cold. I dragged her off. She was large in the belly. My fingers touching her side brought me the reason. Her side was warm. Her fawn lay there waiting, alive, still, never to be born. Beside that mountain road, I hesitated. The car aimed ahead its lowered parking lights. Under the hood purred the steady engine. I stood in the glare of the warm exhaust turning red. Around our group, I could hear the wilderness listen. I fought hard for us all, my only swerving, then pushed her over the edge into the river. Okay, so that's really sad. And if I were to read this, it's the same exact one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try and look again and try and figure out what William Stafford is really saying. He's a post-World War II poet, which means right after World War II, the war where we were fighting both the Japanese and we were in Europe trying to fighting Germany so that and that's during the whole Holocaust situation. So there's 2 things going on. This is post or after. Post means after. And so when you think of that and then you read this again, what do you think he's saying? Remember, art holds a mirror up to nature. So when we first read this, and if you had like maybe your, like my, I don't know, my grandson, if he said, what was that about, Grandma? I would say, oh, it's about a deer that died, but the baby was still alive and the man was on a really dark road and he had to make a decision about what to do because cars can swerve and, you know, the people in the cars might, you know, go off the road and die. And so the man who came upon this dead deer that still has a baby inside it needed to decide what was what he had to do, and it was really hard for him because he didn't know what to do. But in the end, he had to clear the road so that other people could, take the road. And so that's really sad. So that's the factual part. Okay, that's the facts. And again, whenever anyone asks you, what's this factually about? Think to yourself, what would I tell my 10-year-old? What would I tell if a kindergarten class said, what's this story about? What would you say? And it would just be the facts. There's no interpreting. So what I'm going to do right now is stop talking to you. And the next time you see me, and what you'll be doing is, this is the end of our literal read through. You're going to click on the next video, and I'm going to have some questions for you on the screen. They're the same questions you're going to download and print to help you understand what is symbolically going on in here, because you are going to see this as a personal parallel, and you're going to write about it. So I will see you in a bit.